and from 2019, 7 years probation. 2015 conviction for 3 counts of ag assault, 3 counts of criminal attempt to commit armed robbery, and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. 2018 conviction for theft by shoplifting and possession of tools for the commission of a crime. And 2017 conviction for theft by shoplifting. Nothing further.
Go ahead, Mr. Cho.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Your Honor. Before you is Mr. Love, Your Honor. This is a fairly straightforward case. Ultimately, the state just has to prove, is this a convicted felon and was there a gun and within arm's reach? Our contention is, Judge, that there was that this was not my client's gun and it was not within his arm's reach. Judge, he does have a good address. It is in Atlanta, 30315. And he has ties to community, including his grandparents. I believe the address would be in Fulton County. And Your Honor, he is on a no bond status currently. We would ask the court to consider $5,000 for count 1 and $1,000 for the misdemeanor obstruction in this case. Judge, this all occurred because Ms. Crittenden, who's listed in the warrant, was unhappy with my client, and we need further information, but my understanding is the gun was found inside the home, so not in my client's arm's reach. Nothing further.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Marquez.
Thank you, Judge. The state is going to ask the court, just based on the fact that Mr. Love's history, he does have a high probability to reoffend, and that he has a clear history of not appearing for trial when called, with several TAs and parole violations. So we believe that he is a danger to the community. So the state would ask for, at a minimum, if the court does set a bond of $50,000 on the possession by firearm by a convicted felon, and $1,000 on the misdemeanor.
All right. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. With your record, we're going to put an ankle monitor with a 24-hour curfew. Court, lawyer, medical, employment, as long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment, schedule, exact location you're going to be working. You also can do for basic life necessities. No further contact with Nicola, Nicola Crittenden, Crittendon. Do 10,000 count 1, 1,000 count 2. Best of luck to you, sir. Thank you, courtroom 2. All right, Gary Bell. All right, let's see. There she is. All right, 22 CP 213876. This is position 9. Gary Bell.
Good evening, Judge. Aya Bader for Mr. Bell. Mr. Bell's been in custody for about 211 days now.
Need to kind of like just put everything on the record, if that's okay, real quick. Sorry. All right, it's 22 CP 213876, Gary Bell. Theft by receiving stolen property, possession of a firearm or knife during the commission of or attempt to commit certain felonies, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, driving a license suspended or revoked, possession of drug-related objects. And it was bond set on May the 18th. It's been standby. Odyssey was going a little slow for me today. May 18th, bond was set at $7,500 good bond.
17 cycles, 2018 forgery conviction, 2011 habitual violator convictions, 5 probation violation, and nothing further.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Badar.
Yes, Judge. He's been in custody for 211 days now. Today we're going to ask for a UJR to his hold. He does have a hold in Lowndes County for 3 traffic offenses. The hold is causing a lot of barriers for him, most significantly in getting into a program for substance abuse, as he has requested. Just for some more Ayala factors, he's been a Georgia resident his whole life. He has a good address with his brother, Marvin Collins, who I've spoken to personally, in Henry County at 233 Happy Trail, Locust Grove, Georgia, 30248. I do believe that address is different than that on Odyssey. As you heard, he doesn't have a long history. It is nonviolent. So we're asking for him to go to his hold so that when he returns, we can resubmit him for substance abuse treatment. Thank you.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Marquez.
Thank you, Judge. The state believes in this case, since a bond has been set of $7,500, a good bond, and that was set recently. The fact that he is a repeat offender, he is at risk to reoffend, and it poses a substantial danger to the community. We are going to ask that the court leave the bond as is.
All right, no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. You're gonna have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, employment, basic life necessities. Employment, as long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment, schedule, the exact location you'll be working. You'll have 48 hours to have that ankle monitor placed on your ankle once you're released from your hold. No driving unless you had valid license, registration, and insurance. Stay out of Fulton County except for court and to see your lawyer. 1 second, make sure I've got everything here. And it, once again, it'll be paid for by the county. So 1,000 count 1, 2,000 count 2, 2,000 count 3, 200 count 4, and UJR through the jail for count 5. So that's 1,000, 2,000, 2,000, 100. I mean, excuse me. Yeah, 200 and then UJR jail. Best of luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Judge. That concludes my business. May I be excused, please?
Yes, ma'am. You can leave the booth, Mr. Bell. Philip Gordon. All right. Ms. Pinto, this is 22 CP 213678, 218 days without indictment. As of March 3rd, there is a $7,500 good bond on aggravated assault. Wow.
51 cycles, 3 FTAs, 5 probation violations, possession of cocaine convictions, 2016, 2009, robbery convictions, 2009, 2008, and possession of controlled substance convictions, 2006.
Before you start, Ms. Pinto, so did everybody see the message? Michael Kane, position 8, has refused to come to court. I'm not sure off the top of my head who represents Mr. Cho. So your clients refused to come to court. Just
Can we reset him and I'll speak to him?
all right.
Okay, I'll reset it.
Thank you,
Okay.
Ms. Robinson. Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
That concludes my business, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, go ahead, Ms. Pinto. I apologize.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Gordon has been incarcerated 218 days. He has been, of course, deemed eligible for a bond. We're simply asking for a reduction based on his financial circumstances. If released on bond, he would reside on Magnolia Street in Atlanta. I think that is the address on file. But that's where he would live if released. He's not a flight risk judge. He does have ties to the community. He's 35 years old. He's lived in Atlanta his entire life. His entire family is here in the Atlanta area. And he's not a risk of intimidating any witnesses or alleged victims. This alleged victim is not someone that he knows personally or would have any means or reason to contact. So we are asking for a reduction based on the fact that Mr. Gordon is indigent and, of course, presumed innocent. He has very little by means of finances. So we would ask for a reduction by half, Judge.
Okay. And I've already, just so you know, I've already put anything over 200 days in my email to Ms. Willis.
Thank you, Judge.
Go ahead, Mr. Marquez.
Thank you, Judge. At this point, the state believes that this is an aggravated assault. A bond's already been set at $7,500, which is substantially low on this type of charge. The defendant does have quite a few FTAs, so we believe that he is at risk to reoffend and risk of flight, potentially not even showing up for court. Despite the fact that he doesn't know the victim personally, he could become a danger to the community simply because of the nature of the charge. That's the state's position, Judge.
All right. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no further contact with Corey, Cory, Andrew, last name Martin, Martin. Stay away from 89 Centennial Olympic Park Drive. Northwest in Atlanta, Georgia. You're going to have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, employment, as long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, and the exact location you're going to be working. Also, sir, you can leave for basic life necessities and stay away from Reverb Hotel, which REVERB, which should be that location. 218 days, no indictment. I give you a $5,000 good bond. Best of luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
You can leave the booth. All right, I got Devin Blaylock. All right, position 12, 22 CP 212715. Devin Blaylock, 254 days without indictment. There's a $98,500 good bond as of December the 27th, 2022. Possession of marijuana with intent to distribute. Possession of a controlled substance, Schedule 3, 4, or 5 with intent to distribute. Possession of cocaine with intent to distribute. Possession of MDMA with intent to distribute. VGCSA, possession of Schedule 1 or 2 with intent to distribute. Possession of a knife or a firearm during the commission of or attempt to commit certain felonies. Possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Violation of handicap parking. Misdemeanor obstruction. That's allegedly 61 grams of weed, 3 grams of Xanax, 4 grams of crack, 61 MDMA pills, and 12 grams of Adderall, all alleged. Mr. Cazzoli, go ahead. Free trial.
I'm showing 7 cycles, 4 out of Georgia, 3 out of Tennessee. Give me one moment to pull his GCSE up because no felony convictions were actually listed. Give me 1 second, please. It's loading. Does the state show any felony convictions?
I'm looking, but I don't see any on GCIC so far.
Try to pull it up and look at the warrant again.
I'm sorry, my Odyssey is going really slow, Judge. Don't know why.
Yeah. Mine too. Just spinning, loading.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I don't see any felony convictions listed. I was also trying to pull up the possession of firearm by convicted felon warrant to see if that was one of the arrests out of Tennessee. But my Odyssey is also moving pretty slow.
Well, Mr. Cazzola, you want to go ahead and make your argument and we'll come back to the possession of firearm by convicted felon?
Sure, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you very much and good evening. Mr. Blaylock is 30 years old, Your Honor. As you already mentioned, he has now been in jail for 254 days. And it's my understanding that that is already included on your list, Your Honor, but we would just like to point out that his last hearing was in January, Your Honor. So that means that it's been almost or the end of December. So that's over 6 months of uninterrupted time that Mr. Blaylock could have been indicted if the state was hoping to do so. Your Honor, he had a good job working at Discounts Meats as a delivery driver before his incarceration. Your Honor, he is a lifelong Georgia resident. He has a good address that's listed on his file. That's 1005 Baldwin Street, Southwest, Atlanta, Georgia, 30310. Your Honor, I will also point out that that he currently has a over $98,000 bond, as if this was being charged as trafficking, Your Honor. But as you listed out the amounts, none of those rise to such a significant level. We are asking for significant downward departure there. We're asking for his bond to be reduced. Let's see, 1,000 on position 1, 2,000 on position 2, 4,000 on position 3, 20,000 on position 4, 5,000 on position 5, 5,000 on position 6, 5,000 on position 7, keep position 8 as UJR jail. make position 9 UJR jail as well.
So in the warrant, it says 5/10/2022 out of federal court, he was convicted of conspiring to distribute narcotics felony.
And I reran a GCFC. I see that with the U.S. Marshals. See the supervision date did start 5/10/2022 for that offense. And he also had a 8/28/2013 for conspiracy crack cocaine, also with the DEA.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Marquez.
Thank you, Judge. Well, in this case, considering Mr. Blaylock is a convicted felon and he is a repeat offender, we consider him a danger to the community and a flight risk and potentially also a propensity to reoffend. So we are going to ask the court to keep the bond as is. And I'm not sure, Judge, but I think some of these amounts, because I don't have all the amounts on the actual possessions, but may trigger Brasher's order. I'm just not sure.
All right, let's see. So it's 254 days without indictment. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. Stay away from 221 Cleveland Avenue Southwest. You're going to have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew. Court, lawyer, medical, employment, as long as you supply place of employment, name of an employer, schedule, and the exact location you're going to be working. So I got 1,000 for count 1, 3,000 for count 2, 4,000 for count 3, 30,000 for count 4, 5,000 for count 5, 7,000 for count 6, 7,000 for count 7, UJR jail, and then 1,000 for count 9. 1,000, 3,000, 4,000, 30,000, 5,000, 7,000, 7,000, UJR jail, and 1. Best of luck to you, sir. And I did put it in there, and I highlighted all these in red today too, if that helps. All right, let's see. Marquise Clark. Best of luck to you, sir. Marquise Clark. All right, we got Ms. Beck. Yep. All right, we got 23 CP 215433, 147 days without indictment, no bond as of January the 14th for aggravated assault. Freak trial.
5 cycles. Out of those 5, only 2 were adult cycles, and he has no adult convictions. He did have some adjudicated guilty juvenile cases.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Beck.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Clark is 18 years old. He celebrated his birthday while in jail. He's a lifelong resident of Georgia. We do have a good address. I do need to file a change of address, but it is here in Fulton County. His mom, his dad, grandma, aunties, siblings, they all live here in Georgia as well and are very supportive of him. He went through the 11th grade, but he's not sure if he'd be able to go back to the same school if and when he is released, but he will be going back to school. So we would be asking for an exception for school. We are asking for a bond not to exceed $20,000, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Marquez.
Thank you, Judge. In this case, Mr. Clark presents a danger to the community, we believe, and to the victim. In this case, he is a repeat offender. Granted, some of those were juvenile, but because of his age, I am concerned with the safety of the community and his propensity to reoffend. So the state would ask for a $50,000 bond in this case.
All right, so he's definitely not going to live in Columbus, Georgia.
Not that I'm aware of, Your Honor, no. I'm not trying to
Okay.
misrepresent, but my understanding was Atlanta.
Okay. All right. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. Stay away from 5651 Stonewall Tail Road in Atlanta, Georgia. No further contact with LaShawn, Lasean Johnson. You're gonna have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew. Court, lawyer, medical, and education, as long as you can show proof of enrollment and that you're going, sir, and basic life necessities. That ankle monitor will be paid for by the county. $35,000 good bond. Best of luck to you, sir. Jamequev Andrews, Mr. Andrews. Sorry if I destroyed your name there. All right, we got position 13. It's 23 CP 216503. No bond as of March the 8th, 2023. Jamie Quev Andrews, 105 days. Possession, manufacture, distribution, sale of marijuana. Possession of a firearm or knife during the commission of attempt to commit certain felonies. Possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Possession and use of drug-related objects. Unlawful for a person employed by, associated with criminal street gang to conduct or participate in criminal street gang activity. Unlawful for a person employed by associated with criminal street gang to conduct or participate in criminal street gang activity. Unlawful to commit an offense with the intent to obtain, earn, maintain membership, or increase status position in a street gang. 48.5 grams of weed allegedly. Pre-trial.
22 Cycles appears to be on probation for aggravated assault, theft by receiving stolen property, unlawful for a person employed or associated with criminal street gang to conduct or participate in criminal activity, robbery, possession of a firearm by convicted felon. That is from 2014. It was 15 years probation, 13 SC 117373. He has 2 burglary convictions, 2015, 2014, 2020 conviction for possession or transport of a firearm by a convicted felon or felony first offender. Another open case, 22 CP 213377, failure to use crosswalk, willful obstruction, reckless conduct, purchase, possession, or have a controlled substance in Schedule 1 or narcotic in Schedule 2, purchase, possession, manufacture, distribution, or sale of marijuana, and unlawful for a person employed or associated with criminal street gang to conduct or participate in criminal activity. 3
All right.
probation violations, 1 FTA.
Thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Beck.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Andrews is 27 years old. I'm sorry, 29. I can't read my own handwriting. He is a lifelong resident of Georgia. He's lived here his entire life as well. His family has lived here forever. His mom, every single family member he has lives here in the state. We do have a good address. It is not the one that is on file. However, we will be filing a change of address. It is in Fulton County though. He has 2 children at this point, and he has not gotten to meet his newborn child yet. She was born while he's been incarcerated. He went through the 10th grade, but also went back and got his GED. Prior to his arrest, he was working for Hands On, doing election campaigning work, and he did that for 5 to 6 months. And he had also just gotten an interview with Amazon. He hadn't started yet prior to his arrest. We are asking for a bond not to exceed $10,000, Your Honor.
All right, what says the state?
Judge, criminal
Judge,
street
this is,
gangs
I'm sorry,
and-
this is
Oh, sorry.
ADOCOM with the gang unit.
Oh,
Yes,
go ahead.
ma'am. Go ahead.
Sorry. Your Honor, the state is objecting to bond. I would note that the defendant has an extensive criminal history. I would also note that the open case was for the same circumstances. It was a drug case and also participation in criminal gang activity. He was bonded out for that. He got bail for that. Well, he posted his bond December 4th for that case of 2022 and picked up this case February 4th of 2023. So he was basically out on bond for 2 months before he picked up this new case. And Your Honor, the state is also particularly concerned that he picked up basically similar charges, criminal street gang activity and drugs. The defendant is a danger to society. He's also on probation for various cases. He has various felonies on his record as well. And the defendant has clearly shown that if he's released, he will pick up a new case. The state is concerned for the community at large and the defendant's propensity to commit new crimes. So the state is objecting to any reduction of bond, and the state is asking that the defendant remain on no bond status.
Well, it's 105. So that'll.
I apologize, Your Honor. I have
That's
multiple
okay.
cases.
That's
I'm
okay.
asking that it not be reduced, Your Honor. I'm surprised it's at 105. I'd have asked for more, but the state is requesting.
Oh, no, he's been in jail 105 days. He's at no bond status.
He's
Okay.
legally entitled at this point.
Your Honor, the state is asking for then for that case for the gang counts, $75,000 each for the gang counts. For the drug counts, $20,000 for the possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, $20,000. I'm going to do my math, but it should be 75 plus 75 is 150, 123, 150, 300, 375. I think if my math is correct, it should be 475, but I can check that.
No drug unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. Stay away from 215 Forsyth Street Southwest. You'll have an ankle monitor. Oh, and also no replicas of weapons. No replicas of weapons, no social media. You have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, employment, as long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, and the exact location you're going to be working. No further contact with anybody who's a member of or any gang members, but especially sex, money, murder, YSL, Atlanta Blood Gang, YFN. And of course, you know what that means. I don't really want to say that, but any of those gangs or any other gang members, affiliates of gangs, wanting to be a gangs, trying to be a gang, thinking of being a gang, any thing like that. 20,000 count one, 20,000 count two, 20,000 count three, UJR through the jail for the drug related objects, and then 100,000 on each gang charge. So 20,000 on each drug case, UJR jail possession of drug related objects, and 100,000 per gang charge. That's what 360. Best of luck to you, sir.
Your Honor, I apologize. That concludes my matters with you. May I be excused?
Yes, ma'am. Have a good evening.
Thank
And we got
you,
Robert
Judge.
Swindle. And then you, Miss Eustace, if you're still here and haven't gotten your verdict.
I am, Judge. Thank you.
All right. Ms. Bray, we got position 3, Robert Swindle, 23 CP 215494, 143 days of indictment. There's a $10,000 split bond with 10,000 on simple battery, no bond on robbery, 143 days. Pre-trial.
13 Cycles, open case for theft by shoplifting, 23 CP 218826, open case for forgery of financial theft, theft by shoplifting and forgery, financial transaction card fraud, 21 CP 202720, and an open case for terroristic threats, robbery by force, driving hit and run, 21 CP 197278. 2 TAs, 1 misdemeanor probation violation, and nothing further.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Bray.
Hey, good afternoon, Your Honor. Mr. Swindle is 25 years old. He has a high school diploma from Maynard High School. He was attending a barber program prior to his arrest. He has lived here in Georgia all of his life, and his main support from his family, the family members are all here in Georgia. Just virtue of the fact that he does not have bond and it's over 90 days, he is entitled to bond on the charges that he no longer has bond on. I am going to point out to the court that 2 of the cases that are open do not belong to my office. He has a private attorney on those. And I am just asking Your Honor to set a bond on his behalf. And this
All right.
is one of the cases that I inherited from
Mr. Houston.
Mr. Houston. Oh, and I need to provide a new address, and I'll go ahead and do change of address form tonight. But Mr. Houston spoke to someone with the first name Tedrick, Tedrick. I don't have a last name, but that person informed Mr. Houston that Mr. Swindle would be living at 2428 Stone Road, East Point, Georgia, 30344.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Marquez.
Thank you, Judge. In this case, because of Mr. Swindle's age, he has 3 open cases for substantially similar circumstances. We consider him to be a danger to the community and a high propensity to reoffend. So we would ask the court to set a bond in the amount of $30,000 for the robbery and keep the simple battery at $10,000.
No
And of
drugs
course,
unless.
I'm asking for substantially less than that, simply because he has been in for the amount of time that he's been in and nothing has happened.
All right, no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no further contact with Francisco Ramirez Sanchez, Sanchez. Stay away from 3097 Maple Drive. You're going to have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew. Court, lawyer, medical, employment, as long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment, schedule, exact location you're going to be working. Sir, are you going to be living at that East Point address? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Okay, so we'll remove that. Stay out of Fulton County. That ankle monitor will be paid for by the county. And all these, Miss Hunter, they have 48 hours if there are any holds pop up. So 10,000 count 1, 20,000 count 2. Best of luck to you, sir. All right, Miss Eustace, you're it. Is that it for you, Miss Bray?
No, I believe I have 2 others on the calendar. I wanted to tell Your Honor that Robert Lyons needs to be removed from the calendar because when I checked this afternoon, he did in fact receive a UJR. And I guess when they were processing him out yesterday, up popped a violation of probation hold for a 2019 case. So the 2019 case is the only case that is holding Robert Lyons in.
So do we need to get that on here, I guess, right?
I guess.
Judge,
Okay.
I think that's one of the ones you had removed.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I must not have heard that part. I may not have been on.
That's okay. All right, what about Stephen Osby? All right, you ready, Miss Eustace? Position 17.
Your Honor, I'm sorry to interrupt. Mr. Osby is represented by Ms. Rondon. That's the reset from
Oh,
Monday.
yeah.
I'm sorry, from Tuesday.
Okay. All right, Miss Rondon, it's just one. I'll take her. Stephen Osby, 23 CP 216599. 101 days without indictment, no bond as of March the 1st, burglary in the first degree, theft by taking, felony. Pre-trial.
Give me 1 second. This is the only one I don't have. I'm showing 16 cycles out of Georgia, 1 FTA 2018. He took a first offender in 2021 for willful obstruction and criminal damage to property in the first degree. He appears to still be on first offender probation for that case, 19 SC 173511. It was 3 years, 3 months probation. Another FTA from 2020. Probation violations, 2020, 2022. Another one in 2022. 2023 probation violation. He has 1 cycle out of North Carolina for assault with a deadly weapon in 2016. Looks like that case was dismissed. I believe he has another out-of-state history. It's loading. And he also has arrests out of Florida. 1 cycle out of Florida for domestic violence battery in 2015. He completed PTI for that case and nothing further.
All right, go ahead, Miss Rondon.
All right, Mr. Osby is 26 years old. He has been a resident of Atlanta and Georgia for the past 4 years. I will be submitting a change of address for him.
Judge, I'm sorry,
Or-
he's waving in 1 North booth too. I'm not sure if he can hear.
Sounds like he can't hear us, or it looks like he can't hear us.
Go to booth 3. Swap. Okay, go ahead.
I will start from the top now that he can hear us.
Okay.
Mr. Osby is 26. He has been in Georgia for the last 4 years. I will be submitting a change of address for him, as his new address is in Conyers, Georgia, where he will be able to reside with his mom. He is a high school graduate, and prior to being arrested, he was working at Longhorn Steakhouse. And it is my understanding that he would be able to get that employment back once being released. Mr. Osby does have some MH issues that would be better served outside of confinement at Fulton County Jail. I would ask for bond to be set in Mr. Osby's case, not to exceed $20,000 total.
All right, what says the state?
Judge, in this case, Mr. Osby does have a few cycles. We are concerned with him reoffending and potentially fleeing the jurisdiction, since he sounds like he has some cases from Florida. The state would ask for the 2 counts, a total of $20,000. No contact with the victim, and do not return to the property.
All right, no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. Stay away from 725 McWilliams Drive Northeast. No further contact with Siobhan, Shevan, Howard, common spelling. Stay out of Fulton County unless you're for court or to see your lawyer. You can have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew. Court, lawyer, medical, employment. As long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, the exact location you're going to be working, and also basic life necessities. $10,000 per count, $20,000 good bond. Best of luck to you, sir. Thank you, Ms. Rondon.
Thank you. I
All
believe I
right,
have
let's
one
see.
more case on the calendar, so I'll stick around.
Okay, all right, Miss Eustace, Marquise Gilmore. Marquise Gilmore. All right, Position 20, 23 CP 216605, 101 days without an indictment, no bond as of March the 3rd, marijuana possession less than an ounce, use of a firearm by a convicted felon during the commission of a crime, and criminal trespass. Pre-trial.
10 Cycles appears to be on probation out of Clayton County for burglary, theft by receiving, stolen property, robbery, and false imprisonment and terroristic threats from February of 2020. That was the first offender that was revoked. It's 10 years probation. 2018 conviction for possession of cocaine with intent to distribute and possession of MDMA. Also appears to be on probation for 18 SC 159035. That is for possession of marijuana with intent to distribute. From 2019, 9 years probation. Open case 23 CP 213572 for willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer by use of threats or violence. 1 FTA, 2 probation violations.
Go ahead, Ms. Eustace.
Yes, Your Honor, and thank you for squeezing me in. I appreciate it. My client turned 28 years old while he was in custody. He has 2 children, a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old that he both cares for. His entire family pretty much lives in the state of Georgia. He has his GED and is also in the process of training to get his forklift certification. He was working at the Duracell warehouse for about 3 months before his incarceration, and he is under the impression that he will be able to go back. So he does have gainful employment upon his release. He's a lifelong Georgia resident. He does have an address off of Arlington Avenue, which I can put in the chat if that is not the address that is reflected in the record that the court has. He is married, and that is his emergency contact as well. So he has quite a lot of ties to the community. This is an incident where he has been in custody now for 101 days is the count that I looked at as of this morning, for a misdemeanor amount of marijuana, criminal trespass, and the firearm during the commission of the crime. We would be asking for a UJR on the marijuana and the criminal trespass, and then we would be asking for a $2,500 good bond on the firearm by a convicted felon. During the commission of a crime as well, simply because we know that that is not UJR eligible. I do note that he is also being held on a VOP. That hearing, I believe, last we checked, is scheduled for June the 12th with Judge Ingram. So we are optimistic that we will be able to get him hopefully home to his wife, children, and pending job that he has.
So what we have is a Magnolia Drive in Jonesboro. Is his address in Jonesboro, the Arlington, or is it in Fulton?
It is not, Your Honor. I will put it in the chat so that it can be added, and I'll also file a change of address.
So it's not in Fulton?
It is in Fulton. It is just not
It
that
is in
Magnolia,
Fulton.
Your Honor.
Okay, all right. What says the state?
Thank you, Judge. Well, based on Mr. Gilmore's history, Judge, the fact that he is on probation, does have a VOP, he's at a high risk to reoffend. So on the marijuana, we would ask $1,000. On the firearm by a convicted felon, we would ask for $20,000. On the criminal trespass, we would ask for $10,000. Total bond of $31,000, Judge.
All right, no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. Stay away from 3887 Washington Road. That's the Washington Food Mart. It says allegedly 22.9 grams of marijuana, so it's $100, 10,000, and 5,000. 100, 10,000, 5,000. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth. Michael London. All right, Ms. Eustace, 22 CP 213078, position 8, 242 days without indictment. There is a $25,000 good bond as of January the 17th. Arson in the first degree and criminal damage to property. Pre-trial.
What position? I thought I heard 8.
Position 6.
6. 21 cycles out of Georgia, 2 out of Alabama, 13 out of Tennessee, 2016 conviction for forgery, 2016 conviction for identity theft, 2019 conviction for possession of a Schedule II controlled substance and possession of a Schedule I controlled substance, and 2022 conviction for entering auto, 5 probation violations, and 1 FTA out of Tennessee, and nothing further.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Eustace.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is over 200 days in custody now. His last bond was granted in January of this year. At that point in time, he had been in no bond since October of last year. He has not received a reduction past the 180 mark, which pre-COVID meant a lot. I understand post-COVID, it should mean even more. However, the state is not able to indict it at this time, it appears. My client has lived in Georgia for most of his life. His mother lives in the Augusta area. Her name is Nancy. This is an allegation in which it is brush fire. It is not a home. That's why he's charged with arson of lands, not property. It was in garbage cans is what is being alleged at this time. My client is actually, after I met with him, he's adamant about wanting to get into a residential program. However, he is unable to make any bond due to how long he's been in custody and due to some underlying MH issues that were around prior to his incarceration. However, he is receiving the appropriate medications and everything while at the jail and wants to continue on that path. We would be asking for as low a bond as possible. We would be asking for it to be under that $5,000 threshold. That way we would be able to submit him to a bail bond project once we can get him into that residential program that he so desperately has been asking for since I met him. But for him having a high bond, it's putting a bar on us being able to get him into a program. So that's why we would be asking for no more than 5,000 aggregate on the charges.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Marquez.
Thank you, Judge. Well, in this case, Mr. London does pose a danger to the community, and despite the defense's argument that yes, it's arson of lands. However, we all know, just based on our own experience, that arson of lands, for example, under a bridge, can cause significant damage to the community and slow traffic down.
And Your Honor, I would object to that. This is not the facts in this case, and it's not relevant to this.
Go ahead, Mr. Marquez.
Thank you, Judge. So the state would ask for the bond to remain the same. I mean, it's only been since January, and granted that the state has not indicted this case, so I will leave it up to the court's discretion.
It's been 242 days. So no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. You're going to have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, including mental health, employment, basic life necessities, as long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment, schedule, and the exact location you're going to be working. Also, I put mental health appointments. If picked up on the hold, you'll have 48 hours to have that ankle monitor placed on your ankle. See, no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. Sorry, I'm trying to read from my previous order. Stay away from 3040 Piedmont Road in Atlanta, Georgia, and stay away from 2990 Hardman Court in Atlanta, Georgia, and stay away from 3004 Piedmont Road in Atlanta, Georgia. And he's going to live in Fulton County. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor, because we're going to be trying to get him a program in Fulton County.
Okay. So 7,000 count one, 5,000 count two. Best of luck to you, sir. And I've put his name on my list. All right. What about Keith Lofton? Keith Lofton.
Don't
didn't see any
see him in a
hand.
booth yet.
Keith Lofton, if you're there, raise your hand. Nope. All right. What about?
Oh, they all got to share the same booth. I put a message in the chat. They all
okay.
Share the same booth.
All right. DeMarquise Yarber. All right. There we go. It's position 18. No bond since March the 1st. 23 CP 216560. 102 days without indictment. Fleeing or attempting to elude a police officer, reckless driving, failure to obey a stop sign, receipt, possession, transport of firearm by a convicted felon or first offender. Also 23 CP 216592, 102 days without indictment, no bond as of March the 1st for aggravated assault. Rah!
11 Cycles, 2019 conviction for possession of a firearm by a first offender probationer. Open cases, 23 CR 001-140F, 23 CR 001-141F, and 23 CR 00142F. Those are all for battery family violence. And then 23 CR 001-135F. That is for battery family violence and criminal damage to property. And nothing further.
All right. Go ahead, Ms. Eustace.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 24 years old. He turned 24 last month while in custody. He's been in Georgia his entire life. His family is here, mother, siblings, essentially the entire family. He has 3 children, a 3-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a now over 5-month-old, but at the time of his arrest was a 5-month-old. He's gone to the 11th grade and was employed doing labor staffing prior to being arrested. It was across from Peachtree as a temp service. He does think that he can go back. It was where they were doing housekeeping and linen washing. He'd been doing that for about 3 months. He does have a good address on file. It's the Maury Avenue address. He's lived there for 8 years with his mother, little brother, sister, and 2 of the 3 children. The complaining witness does not live there, and that is not the incident location. They do share a child together, so we would be asking, especially because today is past his 90th day, it's day 102 by my count, that he be granted a bond. He is okay with no contact, however, would ask for there to be the permission for him to see his young child that he shares with the complaining witness through a third party. And that request, he would ask for his mother, or if you don't need a specific person, that it would just be anybody, so long as he would be able to see his child. Both of these cases are at the 102-day mark, so he is legally entitled to a bond. We would be asking for position number 18 on the felony fleeing, 1,000, reckless driving, UJR, failure to obey a stop sign, UJR, receipt, transport, or possession of a firearm, 1,000. And then on the aggravated assault in position number 19, we would be asking for a $2,500 bond.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Marquez.
Thank you, Judge. Can you hear me okay, Judge?
Yes, sir, I can.
Okay. In this case, because Mr. Yarber has several open cases, and of course, we believe that he is a danger to the community and that he is likely to reoffend if released from custody. On the first position 18, on the fleeing or attempting to elude, we're going to ask the court for $2,500. For reckless driving, $2,500. Failure to obey a stop sign, $1,000. Possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, $20,000. And on the aggravated assault, $30,000. And should there be contact between him and the victim for purposes of the child, any custodial exchanges, we ask that be done at a police station, and the third party be approved by both parties prior to any contact being made, Judge.
All right, position 18, no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. 2,500 count 1, 2,500 count 2, UJR jail for the failure to obey a stop sign, 10,000 for the firearm charge. And we'll go ahead and put the ankle monitor on this one, paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, employment, as long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment, schedule, exact location you're going to be working. On position 19, no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. Stay away from 1002 Ira Street Southwest. No further contact with China, CHYNNA, Oliver, OLIVER. You have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, employment, as long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment, schedule, the exact location you'll be working. Absolutely no contact with Miss Oliver. I can't order her to let you see the child if you haven't legitimated the child, but in the event your mother or someone else can talk to her, sir, you cannot call her for no reason whatsoever. A third party has to reach out to her. They can't harass her. They can call her and ask for visits, and that's it. Am I clear? Give me a thumbs up. Thumbs up. All right, $30,000 good bond. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth. Keith Lofton.
I'm sorry, Judge. Can I get clarification on 19? I missed that bond amount. My internet blipped out. What's that bond on that charge?
I said 30,000.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Keith Lofton.
Your Honor, that's Zachary Anderson's in 3 South, booth 2 right now.
Okay, well, let's get this one. Tony Hunter. Tony Hunter. Nope. All right, what about Andrew Wells? Which charge are we talking about, Mr. Morrell? Is it?
Mr. Morrell is currently driving home from the dentist's office.
He's here.
Yeah, I know he's logged in, but he alerted me in advance that he's listening in, but just because he's still on his way home, he doesn't want to do court while in a moving vehicle.
Gotcha. All right. So we don't have Keith Lofton, right?
Your Honor, he's on 3 South. Hey, Mr. Anderson, tell Keith Lofton to come inside the booth. Anderson, tell Keith Lofton to come in the booth. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Eustace, this will be your last one, so you can go for your verdict, or hopefully you'll get one.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Keith Lofton, that's you? Thumbs up? All right, we got you. Position 7, 22 CP 213271, Keith Lamar Lofton, 235 days without indictment, $12,000 good bond as of October 18th, 2022. For receipt, possession, transport of firearm by a convicted felon or first offender, willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer, disorderly conduct. Pretrial.
3 cycles, 38 out of Georgia, 1 out of Alabama, 1 out of Mississippi, 3 probation violations, 3 FTAs, 5 probation violations, aggravated battery and robbery conviction, 2002. He has an open capital offense out of Fulton County, 21 CP 204424. Nothing further.
3 North, booth 3, get your head up. 5 North, booth 4, get your head up. Everybody set up. 3 North, booth 3, get your head up. All right, go ahead, Miss Eustace.
Yes, Your Honor. As you mentioned, my client has been in for over 200 days at this point. I would like to note that his wife, Anyana, and Ms. Lofton is also on the Zoom to show her support. This is an incident that happened quite a long time ago, and you did hear that he does have another pending case in Fulton County, in which at this time there is a no bond. With him being held on that other case right now, we would be asking for a bond to be issued low on this. We would be asking for the transport of a firearm, because that is not UJR eligible, to be 1,000 on the obstruction and the disorderly conduct. We would be asking for UJRs. He is going to be living with his wife and children in Alabama, should Your Honor allow that. I do have an address. It is my understanding that he does not have a specific reason besides court that he would really need to be coming back into the Atlanta area, that he would just be coming back and forth for court, but his primary residence would be in Alabama, where he has lots of family, he has gainful employment that is waiting for him there, and he would be able to have that support system that is so desperately needed once that we can address the other charge that is holding him in on another case that is not calendared right now. But again, some of those charges are in a no bond status, and he has been in for over 200 days. So we would be asking again for the UJR on the 2 and $1,000 on the firearm.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Marquez.
Thank you, Judge. Well, because this particular defendant has a capital offense case pending, the state would ask for a very high bond on this case. I'm sorry, on the first charge, $30,000, on the second charge, $3,000, on the third charge, $3,000, and on the disorderly, $1,000. That's our position, Judge.
And Miss Eustace, he's got no bond on the other case, right?
Yes, Your Honor. And bond, I just wanted to be clear, I did believe bond was granted October of 2022 on this case. He just has not had a reduction since, and that is what we're on the calendar for today.
Right.
I'm sorry,
But
I
also just wanted to
apologize.
clarify that I believe that
Yeah.
Ms. Roberts indicated some FTAs. His wife actually came into Atlanta and handled those to get them cleared off. So I don't know if a new GCIC just has not been run to reflect that change.
Okay. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. Stay out of Fulton County unless you're here for court or to see your lawyer. You're going to have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew. Court, lawyer, medical, employment. As long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment, schedule, exact location you're going to be working. But stay out of Fulton County, sir, unless you're here for court or to see your lawyer. So we'll do 4,000 count 1, 500 on count 2, and 500 count 3. So $5,000 good bond. Best of luck to you, sir. Zachary
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anderson. Thank you, Ms. Eustace. Good luck.
Thank you.
Zachary Anderson.
He's coming in now, Your Honor.
Okay. 3 North, booth 3. 3 North, booth 3. Can he hear?
Your Honor, he's on the mental health floor. That's as far as.
Okay. All right. But can he hear?
He can hear you.
Okay. I want to make sure he can hear. All right. Zachary Anderson. All right. Mr. Cho. I've already put this one in. Anything over 200 days in my email, and this one was in red too. Position 25, 22, CP 214959, 600 days without indictment. There is a $1,250 good bond. Arson in the first degree, criminal damage to property. Rob.
39 cycles, 2013 conviction for act assault and criminal attempt to commit a felony, 2017 theft by shoplifting conviction, 2019 criminal attempt to commit armed robbery conviction, 2020, 2020, 2021, 2023, all theft by shoplifting convictions, open interference with government property, 23 CP 218360. Nothing further.
Go ahead, Mr. Cho or Ms.
Your
Bianco.
Honor, Your Honor,
Ma'am.
he's also on the add-on calendar.
Oh, wait a minute. Did I miss? Oh, yeah, I did miss
Yes.
one. I apologize, Ms. Bianco. 23 CP 218360. This is interference with government property. There is a $7,500 good bond as of May the 10th. Sorry about that. Thank you, Ms. Gandy. Go ahead, Ms. Bianco.
Your Honor, I apologize for interrupting as well, but I'm actually here for the 23 CP case, the add-on.
All right, so Ms. Fialko's got one, Ms. Rhonda's got one. All
Yeah,
right, well, go
yes.
ahead, Ms.
So
ahead,
if
Ms.
I
Fialko.
just briefly will say, so I'm here for 22 CP 214959. Mr. Anderson has a UJR2 pad. There are county holds and the case with Ms. Rondon that are holding him in. I am here to answer any questions you have about that case, but we'd ask that that UJR to pad remain in place.
Yeah, see, I signed that order March 21st. So the other case, Ms. Rondon's case is one that's holding him in. So go ahead, Ms. Rondon.
Yes, Your Honor. And I'm asking for a UJR to the PAD program. He has been accepted into PAD. He already has a UJR in the 22 CP case to that program. The only reason he has not been released to the program so far is the bond in this case and 2 county holds. It's my understanding that the DeKalb hold has been cleared. It's just not updated in the system yet. And that Mr. Anderson is going to court July 11th to take care of the Atlanta PD hold. Once that's taken care of, there should no longer be any county holds that hold him back from going to the program. And I'm asking for the 23 CP case to be a UJR to the program.
All right, Mr. Marquez.
Thank you, Judge. Well, just looking at the facts in this case, I think it would be appropriate to lower the bond on the interference with government property, although the state would ask for, at the very least, a $5,000 bond. Just because, given Mr. Anderson's history, and granted there may be some MH issues along with some other things, but I think that's reasonable at this point.
All right, so did not, Ms. Fialko, did I put amounts or did I just do a straight UJR?
I believe it was a straight UJR.
Okay, so we'll leave that one on position 25. Ms. Hunter is a straight UJR to pad, and I signed that order for the release to pad on March 21st, 2023. I don't know, Ms. Fialko, if it's going to be a different person. If it needs to be updated, you could just shoot that to me. So we'll leave that as it is. And what I'll do on the other is, yeah, still UJR, no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, UJR to pad only. No further contact your co-defendant, Dylan. I can't even read my own handwriting. Dylan Bellard, Bellard. You're gonna have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, employment, and participation in a program and anything in PAD. You just have to supply the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, exact location you're going to be working, and also the program that you're participating in. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth. Don't disappoint me.
And Your Honor, that
Thank you, Your
concludes
Honor.
my business.
Ms. Fialko and Ms. Rondon will reach back out to you. Thank you. All right, what about C? Did Tony Hunter come in? Tony Hunter, nope. What about Jerry Reynolds? They'll call you. They'll call you. They'll call you. Thank you. Let's see, Jerry Reynolds. I don't see a Jerry Reynolds. What about?
Jerry Reynolds has his head
down.
Hold on one second. Court 2, everybody's talking at the same time.
Jerry Reynolds is in 3 North, booth 3.
Okay, so he's the one who's not waving. Okay.
Yes. Your Honor, we have a pending ex parte in this case, but it's been so long that we're still asking to be heard on bond.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we got a $39,000 good bond as of January the 26th. 22 CP 213071, 244 days. Without indictment, aggravated assault against law enforcement officer, willful obstruction, felony, and criminal damage to property. Pre-trial.
What's the position number?
5.
First arrest.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Farasi.
Thank you, Your Honors. Mr. Reynolds, as you said, he's been incarcerated 244 days. That's without an indictment. He is a high school graduate, Your Honor. We do have an address for him. His father had confirmed that address, but his dad is a truck driver, and I haven't been able to get in contact with him very recently.
But his dad does have a house in Atlanta that he stays when he's not on the road. Mr. Reynolds himself was originally from Ohio, and he's been in Atlanta the last 4 years now. He did, at the time of his arrest, have a job in East Point at an Arby's, and he had that job for a solid year. Your Honor, he does have severe mental health issues. That's why we're getting him evaluated. We're also trying to get him into a program, and through no fault of Mr. Reynolds, he has been shuffled around through 3 social workers. And so I think he's kind of fallen through the cracks because of that different transferring of the social workers. But he's soon going to get a new social worker. And then once we have that new social worker, I'm going to get on them about trying to get him into a program. Your Honor, we are asking for a bond. We're asking for significant reduction just because he's been sitting. The state has not done anything with his case whatsoever. We had a prelim back in January, and we're looking now but what are we in? We're in June, and there's been no movement on this case whatsoever. This is his first arrest. He's only 18 years old. He's a very young kid. So, Your Honor, we're asking for a bond not to exceed $5,000. That'll give me a chance to apply to the bail project, or hopefully before then we'll get the evaluation back, or we'll get him into a program. But we just need a significant bond reduction. Thank you.
Go ahead, Mr. Marquez.
Thank you, Judge. Well, in this case, Your Honor, because there are MH issues and the charges are substantial, especially against law enforcement, we believe that Mr. Reynolds is a risk to the community and a danger to the community. So without having him evaluated, I know the PD already addressed that to some degree. I would just ask the court to leave the bond as is.
All right, let's see. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. No further contact with Sheldon McDonald, Sheldon McDonald, or D. Coleman, unless in their official capacity as law enforcement. And now the house now he's going to live in is in Fulton County, right? Because I know I had stat of Fulton County previously, Ms. Sarfaraz.
It is in Fulton County, Your Honor. So we would ask that condition not to take an effect for this case.
Okay, have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, including mental health and employment and basic life necessities, or any sort of program you get him into. As long as he supplies the proof of employment, name of the employer, location, and the schedule. Stay away from Hilliard Street and Edgewood Avenue. Let me see, 1 second.
Yeah, and just so you know that the weapon alleged was a bottle. It wasn't a gun or anything of that nature, a knife or anything of that nature. It was a simple bottle.
Right. It looks like the bottle, and he shattered on when he hit the officer inside of the head. All right, let's see. 8,000 count 1, 8,000 count 2, 1,000 count 3. 8, 8, and 1. Best of luck to you, sir. I think maybe we could just remove that one from there. I don't know if he's going to get up and leave. We may be able to just remove that booth.
Maybe someone might want to tell him to leave.
Sir, you can leave the booth, Mr. Reynolds.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you. Hopefully, I guess he heard. Thank you. Ms. Rondon, if you want to leave, you can too.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, may I be excused as well?
You too, Ms. Fialco. Thank you. We kind of got this down to a science. 6:05. We're almost done. This is amazing. All right. What about Tony Hunter? Can you come in? Tony Hunter. Nope. Okay. What about Levi Rivera Martinez? And we don't need interpreter, right, Ms. Rosenhuber?
That's correct, Judge.
Okay. This is position 4. There is a $35,000 good bond as of March the 9th, 2023. Make sure I got all this. Hold on, make sure I don't call off some that have been dismissed. 16, 14, 18, 17. Okay. Theft by receiving stolen property, felony, aggravated assault against law enforcement, criminal damage to property of the 2nd degree, criminal damage to property of the 2nd degree, willful obstruction, misdemeanor, no insurance, attempting to misrepresent a tag, failure to yield the right of way to an emergency vehicle, reckless driving, failure to obey a traffic signal or stoplight, driving hit and run, duty to stop and return to the scene of an accident, and driving, fleeing, attempting to elude. Preach! Rah!
Showing not convictions, 4 cycles, 3 out of North Carolina, 1 out of Georgia, no felony convictions listed.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Rosenhuber.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Rivera Martinez is 29 years old. His most recent address is still good, and it's in Cumming, Georgia. He would be staying there with his uncle. He's lived here in Georgia for the past 1 to 2 years prior to his arrest. He made it to the 11th grade and was most recently doing pool construction work. At this point, I believe he's been in 294 days without indictment. He does have that ICE hold. We've already had the preliminary hearing, so we're just back on for another bond reduction hearing. We're asking for a significant reduction given the amount of time he's been in custody and his limited criminal history. My recommendations in the order that the court called the counts are as follows. Count 1, 1,000, count 2, 2,000, 3, 500, 4, 500, skipping to count 7, 1,000, 8, UJR jail, 9, UJR jail, 10, UJR jail, 11, 2,000, 12, UJR jail, 13, 2,000, and 15, 2,000. And I have that's a total of an $11,000 bond. Thank you, Judge.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Marquez.
Thank you, Judge. In this case, Mr. Rivera presents a significant danger to the community. In this case, if the judge will remember, or if the court will remember, this is a driving hit and run, fleeing the scene of an accident, ag assault against an officer. He does have a $35,000 bond. He hasn't been able to make it, but we believe that that bond is sufficient, and we would oppose any further reduction in bond at this time.
All right. Let's see. 13. Sure, got everything here. Okay. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. You can have income monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew. Court, lawyer, medical, employment, as long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, exact location you're going to be working. Also, sir, stay out of Fulton County unless you're here for court or to see your lawyer. That's the only reason you come to Fulton County. Don't get gas, don't get a flat tire, don't stop for lunch, straight to court, leave. Do not stop for any other reason when you come to Fulton County. And I have on here, they must reside at 1885 Valley Way Road in Cumming, Georgia, 30040. No further contact with Trooper Jordan Buffington, Evan Johnson, or Sergeant Salvador, Salvador, Ortega, Ortega, unless it's in their official capacity. So we do 2,000, 5,000, 1,000, 1,000, 2,000, 250, UJR jail, UJR jail, 3,000, UJR jail, 4,000, and 5,000. You need me to repeat that, Ms. Hunter, Ms. Rosenhuber?
I got the numbers, Judge, but I'm still adding them up.
All right, did you get them, Ms. Hunter?
Yeah, I did.
All right, best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth. Stay out of Fulton County.
Thank you, Judge, and that concludes my business, if I may be excused.
Yes, ma'am. Have a good one. What about Tony Hunter? Did you come in, Tony Hunter? No Tony Hunter yet. Okay. What about Jameis Barnwell? All right, Mr. Barnwell. It's 21. We got 23 CP 216626. Jameis Dantrell Barnwell, 101 days without indictment. What is this? No bond, possession of firearm by a convicted felon and reckless conduct. Preach! Raw!
He has 42 cycles, 34 out of Georgia, 7 out of Florida, 1 out of North Carolina. 2018, 2019 theft by shoplifting conviction. 2012 removal or attempted removal of a weapon from public official conviction. 2012 theft by taking and financial transaction card theft. 2004 criminal solicitation. 2001 possession of cocaine. 2001 possession of a controlled substance. 2000 aggravated assault and robbery. 3 FTA, 6 probation violations.
Go ahead, Ms. Beck.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Barnwell is 42 years old. He received his GED. He's a lifelong resident of Georgia. The address that is on file is still a good address for him. He lives there with his mom, and the address has been verified by Ms. Collins. We are asking for a UJR for the reckless conduct and bond not to exceed $7,000 for the other charge.
All right, and that's Ellenwood, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Marquez.
Thank you, Judge. Judge, the state is in the position that Mr. Barnwell represents a significant threat to the community. He is likely to reoffend if released on bond. However, since he is entitled to a bond, the state would recommend on the possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, $30,000, on the reckless conduct, $2,000, total of $32,000.
All right. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. Stay out of Fulton County unless you're here for court or to see your lawyer. Don't get gas, don't get anything to eat. Court and see your lawyer. Stay away from 1020 Spring Street Northwest, which is fine. That's in Fulton County. You're gonna have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew. Court, lawyer, medical, employment. As long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment, schedule, and the exact location you're going to be working. 10,000 count one, 5,000 count two. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth.
That concludes my business, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
What about Demetrius Madison? Oh, there you are. All right, position 16. This has a $1,000 split bond with $5,000 on the marijuana less than an ounce, $5,000 on misdemeanor theft by taking. Got aggravated assault, possession of firearm by a convicted felon, another aggravated assault at no bond. 23 CP 216-539. Demetrius Madison. 103 days without indictment. Free trial.
And Your Honor, just to be clear, you said 5,000, it's 500 on 500.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Okay. It's been a long day. It's been
I understand, Your Honor.
Yeah, 500 on each of those. Thank you so much. Go ahead.
I did not take note of the number of cycles, but he has 2 parole violations, 1 FTA, a 2003 capital offense conviction, and then an open case 22 CP 209405 for ag assault and possession of marijuana less than an ounce.
All right. Go ahead, Ms. Correa.
Thank you, Your Honor. In regards to the open case that Madam Pretrial just listed out, that case does remain unindicted, and it's been unindicted for a year now. I just wanted Your Honor to make note of that, of the non-indictment of that other case. Mr. Madison is 36 years old. He's a lifelong resident of Georgia. His family is currently following along tonight's hearing through the YouTube link. I provided them with that information. The address reflected in Odyssey is a good address for Mr. Madison. That's where he would live with his wife and his sister. He was able to complete his GED. And at this time, I have received confirmation from his employer that his job is still waiting for him. Of course, he would not be allowed back at the incident location. He has been in custody for now 103 days without indictment, which means that he is lawfully entitled to bond. Mr. Madison is profoundly indigent at this time and would not be able to make a significant bond. So I'm asking Your Honor to set a bond that does consider the reality of Mr. Madison's situation. I'm asking Your Honor to consider setting a $10,000 bond. Thank you, Judge.
Go ahead, Mr. Marquez.
Thank you, Judge. Judge, this is a serious case. Mr. Madison is a repeat offender. So we are concerned that his propensity to reoffend is going to be high. We do consider him a danger to the community. He already has 1 capital offense. So we are asking that should the court set bond on the aggravated assault with no bond, that it would be a $100,000 and keep the other bond amounts as is.
All right. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. Stay away from 2176 Vesta Avenue. No further contact with Sonny. I can't read my hand. Is this a Creek or Greer? Good gosh, hold on.
Creer, C-R-E-E-R.
All right, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, C-R-E-E-R and Audrey Stovall. Stovall. You're gonna have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew. Court, lawyer, medical, employment, as long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, and the exact location you're going to be working. Along with that, basic life necessities. And this has it was allegedly 21 grams of marijuana. Let's see. It
That
says-
is less than an ounce.
Yeah, and this has the Fairburn, right? Is where he lives?
Yes,
Fairburn
Your Honor.
Avenue, okay. All right, so 30,000, 10,000, 30,000, UJR jail and $100. 30, 10, 30, UJR jail, $100. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth. Thank you. What about Deshaun Rivers? Thank you, sir. Mr. Madison, you can leave the booth. All right, Mr. Gazzoli, there is a $46,000 good bond as of December the 15th on position 11, 22 CP 211946. 282 days without indictment, aggravated assault, possession of firearm or knife during the commission of or attempt to commit certain felonies, possession of firearm by a convicted felon, giving false information to a law enforcement officer. Pre-trial.
7 cycles, 2 probation violations, 2021 conviction for possession of meth with intent to distribute, and nothing further.
Go ahead, Mr. Gazzoli.
I'm not sure if he can hear you, Judge.
Sorry, Your Honor. No, I'm here. My mute button was
That's all right.
was mid adjustment here. All right, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Rivers is 25 years old. He has not found new housing since his incarceration, Your Honor. He does have a good mailing address at 2265 Perry Boulevard, Building 8, Apartment 80, Atlanta, Georgia 30318. I've already been in contact with my social worker about trying to find some housing, especially once we get his bond to something that might be a little bit more manageable. He is a lifelong Atlanta resident. He has a wife, son, and sister who all live in the Atlanta area. Your Honor, before his incarceration, he was working at Down South Cleaners, which cleans homes and carpet. Your Honor, his bond that's currently set, as you mentioned, is $46,000. He has been in jail for the past 282 days, Your Honor, without an indictment. We're asking that his aggravated assault be reduced from $25,000 to $10,000. His possession of a firearm charge be reduced from $9,000 to $3,000. His possession of firearm by a convicted felon be $9,000 to $3,000, and giving false information be reduced to $500, which I believe would be a total of $16,500.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Marquez.
Thank you, Judge. Well, in this case, we believe the defendant does have a high propensity to reoffend, that he is a danger to the community at large and to the victims. So we would ask the court to keep the bond as is.
All right. Once again, I'll note he's been in 282 days without indictment. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. No further contact with Lerayah, Lerayh Matthews. Stay away from 2265 Perry Boulevard. You're gonna have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, employment. As long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, the exact location you're going to be working. You'll also need to supply an address where you'll be living when you get out on bond, sir. You have to supply an address where you're going to be living. All right. So we got 20,000, 5,000, 5,000, and 1,000. 20,000, 5,000, 5,000, 1,000. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth.
Thank you, Your Honor. I believe that concludes my business. May I be excused?
Yes, sir. All right, I've got.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Did at the beginning did you announce that Mr. Jones was going to be held off until his hearing later next week?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right. What about, let's see, Marquez Soul. All right. That's, let's see, that is 20, it's number 24, 23 CP 216690. 99 days without indictment, no bond as of March the 3rd, 1 count of aggravated assault. Pre-trial.
9 cycles, 1 conviction. That conviction is for purchase, possession, manufacture, distribution, or sale of marijuana, possession of a firearm or a knife, and the commission of a felony in 2009, and nothing further.
All right. Go ahead, Ms. Pinto.
Thank you, Judge. As stated by the court, Mr. Saul has been incarcerated 99 days with no bond, so he is entitled to a bond today. He's 31 years old. If released, he would reside on Epworth Street in Atlanta, which should be the address on file.
And if it's 1412, that's the incident location too.
No,
Like
his address is 1403, so I'll need to file that change of address, Judge.
Okay, yeah, because it had 1412 previously. Thank you.
But that at 1403 is where he resides with his mother and his girlfriend. He's lived in Georgia his entire life. His entire family is here in Georgia. He went to the 7th grade, but then did get his GED. We are asking for a reasonable bond for him. I spoke with the alleged victim today, who's actually his uncle, and I gave him the link. He was going to try to come on the Zoom, but it doesn't look like he was able to make it. There was some technology concerns. However, he did tell me that he is not in fear of Mr. Saul. He does want him to get a bond, and I do think he told that to the DA's office as well, but of course ADA Marquez can confirm. So given that he only has one felony conviction, Judge, we are asking for a bond not to exceed 10,000 for Mr. Saul today.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Marquez.
Thank you, Judge. And thank you, Ms. Pinto, for that lovely introduction. I would actually, in this case, I don't have any information on the victim. So just based on the defendant's history, the only thing that would concern the state would be the safety to the victim and the community at large. So we would be asking in this case a $30,000 bond, no contact with the victim, at least until we can sort that out, that he do wear an ankle monitor and report for court as directed, Your Honor.
All right, no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no further contact with Howard Stinchcomb, Stinchomb. Stay away from 1412 Epworth Street, EPWORTH. You can have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, employment, as long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment, schedule, exact location you're going to be working. 5 North, booth 4. 5 North, booth 4. Is he trying to hear? Is that what he's trying to do? All right, so we'll make this a $20,000 good bond. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth. All right, I've only got two more cases.
May I be excused?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I got
Judge, if
Tony-
5 North booth 4, is he saying that he can't hear? He could go in booth 1.
Yeah, I guess I don't even know who it is. I think it's somebody who's already went. If you have already went, you can leave the booth. All right, let's see. Tony Hunter. Thank you, Mr. Hunter. Miss Bray. We got it's position
I'm
10, 23 CP 215404. 147 days without indictment. Tony Lamar Hunter. No bond as of January the 13th. Aggravated assault, armed robbery, possession of firearm or knife during the commission of or attempt to commit certain felonies. Use of firearm by a convicted felon during the commission of a crime. Pre-trial.
19 cycles, 6 probation violations, 1 FTA. Open case 23 SC 187724. That is for aggravated assault, strangulation, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, battery, family violence, terroristic threats, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. 2014 conviction for 2 counts of robbery. 2017 conviction for terroristic threats, and then a 2021 conviction for possession or transport of a firearm by a convicted felon.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Bray.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Tony Lamar Hunter is 29 years old. He is a lifelong resident of the Metro Atlanta area, Your Honor. But as Your Honor has taken into account the amount of days he has been in without a bond, he is in fact entitled to a bond. And I'm asking Your Honor to set a bond of 10, 10, 5, and 5 for a total of 30.
All right, Mr. Marquez.
Thank you, Judge. Judge, the state believes that Mr. Hunter is an extreme threat to the community, that he does have a high propensity to reoffend, that especially against the victim, and in this case, the circumstances of this case would lead me to believe that should he be released, he would have also pose an extreme danger to the community at large. Therefore, the state will ask for $100,000 per count. Total of 400,000.
You gonna live at the Hateville address, Miss Bray?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. Stay away from 2471 Old National Highway in College Park. No further contact, with Demetrius Douglas, Douglass. You're gonna have an income monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew. Court, lawyer, medical, employment, as long as you supply the name of the employer, proof of employment schedule, and the exact location you're going to be working. Stay away from all travel lodge motels. 50,000, 50,000, 10,000, 10,000. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth. Andrew Wells. All right. What are we addressing? The misdemeanor theft by receiving stolen property?
Well, Your Honor, I had spoke with Ms. Markowitz about this. I was going to file an emergency bond hearing because we've recently had him admitted into the Baylor house. I've also have Ms. Markowitz instructed me to have my social worker who was able to place him into the into his placement inpatient treatment program. She is on the Zoom. She's listed under Raven Ross, Your Honor. She's one of our more senior social workers. She is more of a forensic social worker. So she deals deeply with cognitive behavior therapy. So we will be able to address this. So we're asking if all of his bond can be addressed so he can get into his program because he's going to go through Ebenezer's bailout program.
Let's see. All right. It's position 1 on the add-on 22 CP 208589 Andrew Wells. 409 days without indictment. There's a $61,000 good bond as of May the 9th, 2023. 3 counts of financial identity fraud, financial transaction card theft, possession of tools for a crime, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, theft by possession of stolen mail, VGCSA possession of methamphetamine. 2 more counts of financial identity fraud, reckless conduct, theft by receiving stolen property misdemeanor, and theft by receiving stolen property felony. Pre-trial.
What position was this, Judge?
1. It's one of the
One.
add-ons.
Oh, add-on number 1. Andrew Wells,
Yes, ma'am.
19 cycles, 2009 conviction for financial identity fraud and forgery, 2013 conviction for theft by taking and theft by conversion, 2012 conviction for unlawful for any person to purchase, possess, or have a controlled substance, 2016 conviction for theft by taking, 2017 possession of meth, 2017 burglary and theft by taking, 2 probation violations, 1 FTA.
All right, go ahead.
Your Honor, my client is from the metro area, Your Honor. His mother lives out in Powder Springs, but as indicated in my initial introduction, Your Honor, he is actually going to go to the Baylor House. Baylor House is an inpatient recovery house. It specializes with people who have an addiction to meth, Your Honor. My client has admittedly and is seeking that recovery, Your Honor. While he's been in custody in the 409 days, Your Honor, he was admitted to other programs. However, due to other charges, was not able to have his bond significantly reduced. However, Baylor House has indicated through my social worker, Ms. Raven Ross, through the bailout project would be able to get him so long as he's able to go through the bailout project, which is going to do the bailouts within, I believe is in the next week or on the 19th to be the exact date, Your Honor. Just to give a little bit more information as to the Baylor Recovery House, it is more than a year-long program. All of it is inpatient, so he will be abided. It's kind of like a better way. He will have to stay on campus. He will also have to go to daily recovery meetings, as well as he will have to engage in random drug and alcohol screenings. They have a very zero tolerance policy, as well as he has to meet with his addiction specialist, as well as stay in compliance with all court rules and regulations. Ultimately, Your Honor, I'm asking for his bond to be cut as such. On the financial identity fraud, I'm asking for a UJR on financial identity fraud count 2, a UJR through the jail. I'm asking for count 3 to be a UJR. On count 4, I'm asking for a UJR. On the possession of the tools for a commission of a crime, I'm asking for a UJR. On the possession of the firearm, I'm asking for a $5,000 bond. I'm on the possession during a commission of a felony. Your Honor, I'm asking for another $5,000 bond. On count 8, the stolen mail, I'm asking for a UJR. On count 10, I am asking for a UJR, Your Honor, on count 11. I'm asking for a UJR on count 12. I'm asking for a UJR on count 14. I'm asking for a UJR on count 19. I'm asking for a UJR that is also a misdemeanor, Your Honor, and essentially I'm asking for UJRs on the rest. Ultimately, it will be cut his bond significantly where he will be able to be bond out, and then I will be asking that the UJR says to the Baylor program only, so that he will be transported from the jail to the Baylor program.
All right, go ahead.
Also, Your Honor, if you need to hear from Ms. Raven Ross, she has made herself available for if you need more information or about his she was the one who was able to meet with him and be able to conduct his assessment, Your Honor.
Go ahead, Mr. Marquez.
Thank you, Judge. Judge, the state is going to be opposed to any reduction in bond at this time. We believe that he has been issued a bond. That bond was actually addressed on May the 9th of 2023. And I believe that the only count that was not addressed was count 27. So at this point in time, because of the propensity to reoffend by Mr. Wells and the fact that he is a danger to the community at large, we are going to oppose any reduction in bond.
Ms. Ross, is there anything you want to say?
Ms. Raven? Give me 1 second. She says she's trying to take hers off of mute.
Okay. Can you all hear me?
Yes, if you could turn your camera on, please, and raise your right hand.
Having a little bit of technical difficulties right now.
Sorry about that, Your
Sorry.
If you're on your iPhone or cell phone, just touch the screen and it will give you the option to turn on your video. If you're on a laptop, it will do the same, but using your mouse.
It's telling me I cannot do it because the host has disabled it.
It's telling you the host disabled your, okay, there it is.
Okay. Hello, right?
Raise your right hand, Ms. Ross. Do you swear firm testimony you're about to give is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
All right, go ahead.
My name is Raven with the Fulton County Public Defender's Office. I met with Mr. Wells, I believe, on May 22nd, at which time he did disclose to me that he does have an addiction to methamphetamines. We both agreed that Baylor would be a better program for him to attend. He's already participating in the New Beginnings program at the jail. So with the Baylor program, as previously stated, he will have rules and regulations that he will have to follow. One that is very interesting and I find more holds him more accountable is he will be required to have Life 360, which is a tracker placed on his phone. So if he wanders anywhere or is someplace where he is not supposed to be, Baylor would be notified immediately. Again, he will be have a random and weekly drug screen. They have a zero tolerance policy, which means that if he tests positive the first time, they will send him to detox. If they see that it is a pattern, he will be dismissed from the program. He is required to, again, participate in those daily recovery meetings, and those can consist of counseling, 12-step, or a combination of both. He is also required, to obtain and maintain full-time employment. If that employment exceeds the curfew of 10 p.m., he needs to let the staff know at Baylor again, so they are fully aware again of what he is doing. And also with that back, they will have a tracker.
You heard me?
I'm sorry. Also, they have weekly community meetings, and these community meetings, again, is with the house. They will meet at 6 p.m. all the time, doing weekly check-ins, see what's going on with him. Again, this is a 9-month to a year program with transitional options to help him get back into the community and maintain stability.
Judge, you're on mute.
Sorry, I flipped the form over there and it muted me. Do you have any questions for Ms. Ross?
Me, Judge?
Right. Do you have any questions for her?
I do. Miss Ross, is any part of that treatment under lock-in?
Yes. So again, he has that curfew. So he is not allowed to leave the facility or come in after 10 p.m.
Is the facility Thor approved?
Say again?
Is
No.
the facility Thor approved?
No, it is not.
And is he, so the only tracking device that you would have is just the cell phone?
It will be the cell phone that he is going to be required to have on his phone and always enabled, so they are able to keep track of him.
Okay, so is it an inpatient program? I'm a little confused, or is it like inpatient / outpatient where they go work?
No, it's inpatient, but he is going to be required to work. So he needs to be able to fully work. That the only reason why he would leave out of a program is obviously to go to work. But to get like food and stuff like that, that will be coordinated with the team at Valar.
Okay, no other questions, Judge, from me.
All right. Anything else? I mean, what's your opinion, if anything, now?
Judge, I would still, if we are going to do a reduction in bond, the state would ask for a $20,000 good bond. The problem I'm having, Judge, is the possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and I'm not hearing, at least in the program, that they're on lockdown, inpatient, they're treated, etc.
Right.
You're just kind of, oh well, we'll let you go out, and you have this cell phone, so they leave the cell phone in a place where they're supposed to go and go do whatever they want.
Was the ankle monitor precluded, Ms. Ross?
No, so if there's an ankle monitor involved, he would be required to have that ankle monitor. They would still accept him. Again, there's no program that is going to force someone to stay there that is unethical and that is against the law. Also, he would be going out to work. So it's not like they're not going to know where he is. There's a sign out and a sign in. But again, I want to reiterate, there is no residential program that is going to be a 24-hour lockdown program. That is unethical, and you cannot force any client to stay there. That is against the law as well. This is something that Mr. Wells has presented to me, and he is very adamant about doing.
So would part of it be that if he gets kicked out of it because of doing whatever, that could be a violation of his bond condition?
Yes, it is required that he follows, again, all conditions of probation, parole, and pretrial.
And is it spelled B-A-Y-L-O-R?
It's V as in Victor, L-O-R.
B-A-O, Valor, like Medal of Valor. Okay, gotcha. All right, Mr. Marquez, sounds okay. Thank you.
I'm going to leave it to the court's discretion, Judge.
I've been there before. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. You can have an ankle monitor paid for by the county. With that 24-hour curfew, anything that the Valor, V-A-L-O-R recovery house requires. So if that's any sort of meetings, treatment, as long as you're participating in that. But sir, that means you will constantly have to let the ankle monitoring company know where you're going. So 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, participation in the program, and employment. As long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, exact location you'll be working, and also completion and participation and following all of the rules in the Valor Recovery House. If you're late and don't get back in, that's a violation. They'll revoke your bond. Are we clear? Thumbs up. He gave me a good thumbs up. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. Let's see. Make sure you got all this. All right. No further contact and follow all treatment plans. Stay away from altruist banks. And before it said you must reside. So once you get out of that program, Mr. Morel, is he going to reside at the 2855 Overlake Run?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So as you complete that program, you must reside at 2855 Overlake Run in Sandy Springs. Let's see. No further contact with, and Ms. Hunter, these are all on my previous bond order. Giselle, Jezelle Jones, Stephen Kwan, KWON, Tyler Williamson, Richard Bent, Kevin Riviera, Sabrina Christmas, Isis, ISIS Thornton, Carly, Karley Smith, Joseph Vanderbeck, Vanderbeck, Jason Jones, Dontarius, Dontarrious Summers, Musa, Musa, Alfafi, Jordan Rock. I think there was another Stephen Kwan Jr. also. All right, so 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 4,000, 4,000, 1,000, 5,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. And then the last one's when we left off last time, 1,000. Need me to repeat that, Ms. Hunter?
No, I haven't.
All right, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 4,000, 4,000, 1, 5, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Everything else is 1. Best of luck to you, sir. If you fail or you get kicked out of that, so completing that 1-year program is one of your bond conditions. Best of luck to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Judge Manning. Thank you.
Anything else?
Nothing further. And thank you, Ms. Ross. Mr. Wells, call me when you get to the booth. I'm by my office phone.
All right, I think that's it. Anything from anybody else? Ms. Robinson, you got it? Ms. Hunter, thank you, Mr. Marquez. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Morel.
Judge.
Thank you, Ms. Ross.
Good night,
Judge, I think
everyone.
we're good, but if I can ask Miss Tanya Mary Collins and Lieutenant Coughlin to stay on.
Okay, so everybody can leave. Thank you, Ms. Hunter. Ms. Hunter, just text me when you get everything in the queue, okay? Because I'm at the state board meeting in Savannah, so.
Oh, I just had a quick question on the last one that we did. Since he's
Okay.
going to the program and you put bond amount, am I doing like the UJR?
No, it's not a UJR, but that's part of his bond condition is getting into those programs.
Oh, okay, okay, just, okay, thank you.
Right, okay. Unless they work out something different. Thank you.
Miss Mabry Collins, just quickly, it's several booths today that are not working.
Thank you, Mr.
over there